The decline of Grangemouth's oil refinery is still being keenly felt in this community. Jobs losses here have also been mirrored in other parts of Scotland's energy industry. Ahead of the Scottish Parliament elections, they want to know how politicians will help save jobs.
We hand these jobs down to our kids and our neighbours or our friends' kids, and that's the way it's always been in Grangemouth, right? And indeed in oil and gas right across the North Sea. And what we're seeing at the moment is these jobs are just disappearing before our eyes, and with that, the hopes and dreams of working class kids coming at the back of us, there's just no hope at the moment for them in these jobs because they're just disappearing before their eyes. It's quite sad. And regardless of what colour the rosette was on anybody's lapel, if they're saying things that working class communities need to hear round about jobs and investment and keeping their workplaces open and indeed offering opportunities to the working class kids in these areas, then they're going to vote for that.
The beauty of the Scottish outdoors attracts people from all over the world, and the vast majority of Scotland is rural. Providing the infrastructure to make sure locals feel the benefits of visitors can be a tricky balancing act. Rural communities like this one face vastly different challenges to the country's cities. Poor transport links, smaller working populations, and a lack of affordable housing. Do you think it's harder to, find housing in areas like this?
Yeah, 100%, because obviously with how small the population is here, there isn't an entire amount of houses like in the big cities.
Do you think politicians are more focused on improving life in cities than they are in rural Scotland?
100%. You see all the new things that happen in the cities and then you're grateful for a pothole being filled in up here.
Rural residents say the hospitality and tourism sector is coming under increasing pressure to find staff willing to work in these parts of the country.
Many of whom we have to accommodate on site because there's a lack of rural housing. This is a real issue that seems to just be polarising. We need some honesty. We need proper integrity from our politicians about what's going to happen.
Overseas workers prop up the hospitality industry in remote parts of Scotland, where locals often don't see long-term careers in bar or restaurant work. But changes to immigration visas mean fewer foreign workers are able to help in Scotland's hospitality sector.
People from Scotland and maybe even from smaller towns like this, they don't see this as a career work in hospitality. So if they're going to do it, they're going to do it for a few months and that's about it. So you need to try to find reliable workers from overseas.
As well as entering the country on a worker's visa, Scotland takes in high numbers of asylum seekers each year, and Glasgow is the asylum capital of the UK. More recently, as the cost of living crisis intensifies and the lack of housing becomes more stark, tensions towards those seeking refuge have heightened.
Recent months we have noticed, I personally noticed that there are some negative talks about refugees and asylum seeker, which is quite concerning for myself and for the people who are seeking refuge.
Polling suggests 1 in 2 people in Scotland believe there has been too much immigration into the country in the last decades, but Namatullah insists refugees want to integrate into the communities that accept them.
I'm working, paying tax, taking part in community work. Scotland is a wonderful place, a place that I'm proud to call it home. And Scottish people are very supportive, kind, and they're helping people.
What was clear from speaking to workers across Scotland was that all had a strong sense of pride in their country. But they also worried that politicians weren't doing all they could to help Scottish communities thrive, and instead were letting the country's potential pour away. Lucy Dunn, STV News.